This is CBC Here and Now.
And they just said, okay, it's impossible for all of you guys to have cancer. You all went on, we put it together that we were all on the same excursion together.
Back from down south and feeling sick. Terry Murphy is one of several travelers who became ill after visiting a cave in Cuba.
And now Eastern Health is warning other travelers.
It seems hopeless. It's been so long, and with not a shred of evidence of what happened or where he might be.
Praying and hoping they find Andy Canning.
The 70-year-old has been missing for a month now.
Good evening and welcome to Here and Now. I'm Carolyn Stokes.
And I'm Anthony Germain. A vacation down south turned into a miserable and scary trip for a woman from Paradise.
And now she wants her story to serve as a warning to other travelers. It's been a month and a half since Terry Murphy returned home from a trip to Cuba, and she still struggles to get up the stairs. It's hard for her to breathe and to talk, and it's all because of a mysterious illness she contracted here. Murphy went cave diving in Cuba. While there, she met a group of fellow Newfoundlanders, but what they didn't know was that cave was contaminated. Murphy and others in the group inhaled spores from bat droppings, and by the time they got home, many had developed a severe infection. But it took a while for doctors to make that diagnosis. I spoke with Murphy about the experience this afternoon.
I couldn't catch my breath. I was so weak that it actually was tiring me out to breathe. So that continued on when I left it because it was flu-like symptoms. I went to see my doctor. She gave me some antibiotics, but wasn't impressed by what she had seen, so she sent me for some x-rays and blood work. There was a lot of finicky things going on with my blood work, and that my x-rays had showed that my 2 lungs were covered in nodules. I took some antibiotics and it didn't get better, it just got worse. My breathing got worse. So my husband took me into the health sciences center. Some of the symptoms resemble cancer, and some infections that they haven't seen before, so they weren't quite sure really. And he said, we have to tell you the cancer, but immediately when somebody hears cancer, they hear nothing else. I was I'm 34 years old and I have 2 small children, so he tried his best to say, you know, it's okay, we're not sure what it is, it's a possibility. Some of the other travelers were flat out told that they did have had metastasized cancers. It's been rough. So once they found us all grouped together, we done some group analysis, and they just said, okay, it's impossible for all of you guys to have cancer. You all went on, we put it together that we were all on the same excursion together, and we had some group testing done that was sent to the US because we were unable to get it tested here in Newfoundland. So it was a good day because when we found out that we actually had a name to what we had, we knew it wasn't cancerous. So it was a good day. My energy is at an all-time low. We had some rough times, some ups and downs with it, but like I said, now there's an end in sight. I have a great infectious disease doctor that is also taking care of me right now. We're just trying to get the treatment approved so we can get the ball rolling. Sometimes resorts are your safest bet at this point, but just because a recognized airline is providing these excursions under their name doesn't mean that the research was put in to see if your safety or if any measures are actually taken at all for traveling with this toured group, right?
Well, this ordeal has caused Eastern Health to issue an advisory for international travelers. Histoplasmosis, also known as cave disease, is a respiratory infection. That's what Terry Murphy has. And as you've heard, it's caused by inhaling an airborne fungus and can be contracted in places where large amounts of bird, chicken, or bat droppings exist, like in coops or in barns, or in this case, in caves.
And I have to say, this disease is quite spread in the whole world, in the Americas, in Australia, in Africa. And if people are visiting out of resort places like bat caves or bird sanctuaries, they might be exposed to these spores. So particularly in this case, it was exposure in bat caves.
So Eastern Health is warning anyone traveling in the Americas, Africa, Eastern Asia, and Australia to use caution. Cave disease is not contagious. Most who contract it will make a full recovery, but it can be serious for infants and those with compromised immune systems. Symptoms can include cough and chest pain, shortness of breath, fever and chills, or headaches, and flu-like symptoms.
Friends and family of Andy Canning prayed last night as the search for the missing 70-year-old continues. Now, he's been missing since May the 28th. A vigil was held in his hometown of Bridgeport, and as Here Now's Garrett Barry reports, the family is praying for some kind of breakthrough.
As day turns into night, the search for Andy Canning turns a month old. Hundreds have lined up to search, but his family says they still have nothing.
But we do not have one shred of information that will give us any clue as to what happened. No evidence whatsoever.
RCMP say he was last seen in Valley Pond. This is the last image his family has. Andy out for his usual walk through towns on New World Island.
And Andy would never fail to call my mother. In the last 40 years, he never failed to call her 9:30 every night. This particular Tuesday night, he did not return, and so therefore starts the mystery of his disappearance.
So now they're singing and praying for some sort of breakthrough.
Well, we're praying that closure will come. We're praying that some solution will be found. We're praying that our brother will be found.
And lighting up the sky for Andy. For his closest sister, the month has been brutal.
It's very difficult to deal with emotionally and physically, not sleeping, not being able to function normally, because your mind is saturated. Your mind is consumed with finding Andy.
The 70-year-old was diagnosed with bipolar disorder, but the family says he was doing well, making plans, committing to his Salvation Army church.
And he was excited, he was upbeat, he was encouraging, and we didn't have any indication whatsoever that anything was going wrong.
They've thanked every volunteer, and they're asking them to keep praying and keep looking. Garrett Barry, CBC News, Bridgeport.
Pedestrians and downtown business owners rejoice. The Water Street construction project wraps up today. So just how disruptive was the big dig, and what's still ahead for this project? That's coming up.
It's the Friday of the long weekend, and today a little bit different weather-wise, especially here in the Avalon. Now, temperatures, though, this afternoon through Central, still in the 20-degree range, a little cooler for St. John's. 13 degrees was the afternoon high, and then we've got those teens up through Labrador as well. That low-pressure system making a little bit closer to the Avalon than first anticipated yesterday, so that's bringing a little bit more rainfall, and that continued through the afternoon. Now, it does look like that will continue as we head through the overnight tonight. As we head towards the weekend, a little bit of a forecast that's up in the air at this point, but I'll have all those details coming up.
Thanks, Ashley. It was Stan Marshall's turn at the Muskrat Falls inquiry. The Nalcor's CEO started testifying today, and here now's Katie Breen joins us live from the newsroom. She's covering the story for us. So, Katie, Marshall is just starting, really. He's got a couple days left on the stand, but what's happened so far?
Well, he started in on the state of the project when he took over. Said he had no idea just how much of a crisis Muskrat was in until he got a briefing. Soon it was clear the project was about $3 billion short, but he said that wasn't his biggest concern. He was far more concerned with the situation with the Staldy.
What I kept saying to people, you know, if your shed is on fire, sometimes you got ignored if your house is on fire with your kids in it. There are a lot of problems. We can't deal with everything. We have to establish a priority and deal with the priorities one at a time. Take care of the other things if and when we can. But the first priority had to be deal with the Staldy, because how do you even estimate what a cost is going to be when your main contractor is facing a, termination?
So Marshall came in and totally reorganized the executive. He said what was missing was a good understanding of the big picture and some electrical experience, the knowledge of how to integrate Muskrat into the electrical system. He doesn't blame the project management team for that. He blames higher management, the leadership. Marshall also got into communication with government. He says he's in regular contact with the Premier and the Minister of Natural Resources. He says he's tried to streamline things, but knows information still gets missed. As a fix, he suggested putting some deputy ministers on Nalcor's board so that government would always be kept in the loop.
Governments are the owner. They're entitled to all the information they want. That's the first rule.
Yes.
Second rule is that we have an obligation to keep them posted on significant events.
Late this afternoon, Marshall started talking about methylmercury mitigation. He said the window on wetland capping has essentially been shut unless they wait a year. He's agreed to meet with Indigenous leaders. His testimony continues on Tuesday. Live in the newsroom, I'm Katie Breen for Here and Now.
Well, it's been a long time coming, but people got their first glimpse inside the new Brook Hospital today. Of course, it's still just an empty lot, but the provincial government released this virtual tour today. They say construction will start this summer on this sleek, modern hospital. The cafeteria will have a fireplace. The cancer clinic connects to a healing garden outside. The government also revealed its 10 private sector partners on the project. It's been promised by successive governments for more than a decade now, but the Ball Liberals are guaranteeing these companies will finish on time and on budget.
The province's offshore regulator wants more time to examine a faulty connector that's believed to have caused a large oil spill last fall. The CNLOPB seized that item with a search warrant back in March, and now it's asking a judge for permission to hold on to it for another 9 months for greater analysis. 250,000 liters of crude spilled at Husky's SeaRose production platform last fall. Now, Husky does not intend to challenge that court application, and the company says that its own investigation continues.
Kraken Robotics is the first company to receive millions from what's being called the Ocean Supercluster. Ottawa is expected to spend more than $150 million to develop ocean industries. Today, federal politicians were in Mount Pearl to announce almost $6 million of that money will go to the Newfoundland company.
I think it's marvelous that all of you took the time away from your trip to Costco to come here for a few minutes.
The roundabouts at Costco are a cluster of another sort. But today, federal politicians were in Mount Pearl to talk about the Ocean Supercluster.
My daughter always asks me, what the heck is a supercluster? And she's 9 years old, and I had to think about it before I responded. And it boiled down to the fact that I said superclusters are job magnets.
The federal government is allocating $5.9 million for technology like this to provide high-resolution images of the ocean floor for industries such as oil and gas, fishing, search and salvage, the military, and environmental protection.
So the applications are incredible.
In its relatively short life, Kraken and its underwater robots have already helped Canada learn more about its own history.
We had a team up in the Arctic on the Franklin expedition back in 2014 using this particular vehicle, and we also used this vehicle in Lake Ontario in 2017 to find the Avro Arrow models, which have been lost for over 60 years.
But now Ottawa is banking on Kraken to help Atlantic Canada's economy.
Baines expects Kraken, along with other companies that will receive Ocean Cluster money, will create more than 3,000 jobs and add more than $14 billion to Canada's economy over the next 10 years. And then he revealed what really brought him to this province.
Those amazing Costco fries.
Mark Quinn, CBC News, Mount Pearl.
Well, businesses in downtown St. John's are rejoicing today. The Water Street construction project is over, at least for this year. Now, the big dig took a heavy toll on some businesses in that construction zone, so now they're hoping the summer will be as smooth as all of that new pavement. Here now, Zach Gowdy has more.
The rumble of heavy equipment, silent. The labyrinth of sidewalk detours cleared away. The dust settled. After 3 long months, construction on Water Street is wrapping up on schedule, and not a moment too soon for many businesses.
We are very happy campers here. So happy that it's finally over.
Makes me happy. I feel relieved now that they're in on time this year.
It's almost all over. It's been a rough couple of months, but it's almost done.
Rougher than a downtown gravel pit. Replacing a century-old sewer system meant cutting off traffic, limiting parking, and leaving pedestrians with a noisy, ever-shifting path through the construction zone. Many customers simply stayed away.
Definitely the construction had a significant impact on business. It was down for us and for pretty much everybody on the street.
A social media campaign with the hashtag #LoveDowntown encouraged people to brave the tear-up and support the affected businesses. It's an effort that was noticed and appreciated.
We're just really grateful for everybody's support, and there's so many people who love to support local, and we're just very thankful for that.
This represents phase 2 of a 5-year construction plan. Next spring, the construction zone will be a little further to the east on Water Street. The year after that, a little further still. But that doesn't mean that businesses in this section of the street are altogether done with the dig.
It's not just our block. Like, we felt it last year. We felt it this year, and businesses further down the street felt it. So even though it's not right in front of your business at any given time, it affects the whole downtown together.
But with 2 years of big dig experience now under the city's belt, there's hope that next season may go a little smoother.
There was a lot of things we noticed better this year that weren't done last year. So they're learning different things as they go, and that's improving as they go along. So I think the businesses next year will be even better again than we were, who were, of course, better than the people last year.
Water Street business owners and employees are invited to a debriefing session on the dig happening at City Hall on Monday, July 29th. Zach Gowdy, CBC News, St. John's.
Fathers and sons, mothers and daughters, a lot of people in this province are going to take to the water tomorrow because it's the start of the recreational cod fishery. What are the rules you should know? Stay tuned. Welcome back to Here and Now. The water, that's where a lot of us want to be tomorrow. It's the start of the recreational cod fishery, and joining me now to talk about the regulations is Darryl Walsh from DFO. So Darryl, what's the first thing people should remember, sometimes people forget, about the regulations?
Well, our season dates, of course, is always a good thing for people to remember right away. Is it's opening tomorrow morning on Saturday, and it'll be open Saturday, Sunday, Monday for the next 10 weekends in a row, right till Labor Day.
Okay, so that's the schedule. So weekends with Mondays, but not during the week.
Yes, that's right. Only on Mondays, yeah.
Okay.
And then, of course, it'll open later on the fall from September 21st to September 29th for the fall opening.
Right. As far as number of people on the boat and fish numbers and all that, can you give us some of that?
Yeah, sure. People are allowed to take 5 ground fish per day. They don't have to keep sculpins or conners. They can discard those. And as well, they're not permitted to keep any Atlantic halibut or spotted or northern wolffish or any sharks.
Do you think it's really necessary to tell people they can discard a sculpin?
Yeah, I guess it's good for them to know that they can do that.
Okay.
Yeah, they don't count as one of their 5
Right.
ground fish.
Who wants to keep a sculpin?
Yes, that's right.
Okay, now as you know, you're allowed five fish per person up to a maximum of
15 fish per
15.
vessel.
So that means you can't get 15 and go back to shore, unload, and come back, right?
No, not unless it's a completely different set of people catching the fish aboard the vessel. The vessel can return to sea the same day, but only if it's different people on board catching the fish.
Okay, so you can go back more than once, but it's got to be different people getting advantage of each getting their own fish.
Yes, that's right. And you know, we're very concerned about people that would make multiple trips per day, like come in and catch 5 fish in the morning and then go out and try to catch 5 more again that evening.
That never happens, does it?
It does happen from time to time. Yes, it does.
How about enforcement this year? Is it going to be a bit different from last year?
No, very much the same. We'll have officers, you know, doing patrols by land, sea, and air. And last year we done almost 1,000 vessel inspections, so we're going to try to keep up the same, you know, level of coverage, hopefully, in all areas of the region again this year.
All right, now as a frustrated salmon angler, there's catch and release, but with cod, some people, I've seen it happen, catch a small one, meh.
Yeah, we call that high grading, of course, and that's when people will catch 5 fish, and of course the unfortunate part is they can die aboard their vessel, and then they'll throw away those small fish because they happen to catch another bigger one, and of course that's against our regulations.
Okay, now what about the gutting and cleaning of fish? Are you allowed to just sort of chuck the anchor and start gutting and cleaning? What are the rules about that?
Yes, you can, but the fish must be kept in an identifiable state. So you can split them even at sea if you want and gut them and clean them up and everything, but we have to be able to count the fish, and of course we have to be able to identify it as codfish, so it's important that the skin is left on the fish.
Okay, most importantly, I haven't seen a lot of capelin on the go. Do you think there's much cod out there?
I'm not really certain. I know last year when the fishery opened first, the cod was a bit scarce the first couple of weekends, but then it really picked up.
Okay. Do you enjoy the cod fishery yourself personally?
Oh yes, I've been at it over in past years myself as well.
What's the largest cod you've ever apprehended?
Largest cod I ever caught myself was probably only about 5 or 6 pounds. Not that large.
Well, hey, I appreciate the honesty. You could have said 40 pounds. No one would know the difference.
No, that's true. He just very well could have.
All right. Well, listen, I hope you enjoy the cod fishery, and thanks a lot for reminding our viewers that there's some rules and they should follow them.
Yes, thank you very much for having us on your show.
Thanks.
Yeah, okay.
Now, yeah, it's good. You know, get things going for tomorrow.
Yeah, especially for me because I didn't know any of those rules yet.
Hope to get some cod this weekend myself.
Are you going to head out?
I hope so. Depends what Ashley has in store for us. We'll get to that in a second.
Yeah.
No. Now, later in the show, we're going to show you a delicious way to cook your weekend catch.
And speaking of a big catch, before we get to the weather, we have a video to share with you from the South Coast. Okay.
Captain Roger Domini captured this video today during his morning crossing from Ramia to Burgeo. 2 sharp-toothed visitors came up alongside the Gallipoli. Now check that out. Little gray, a little dim, but you know what that fin means?
You know what? That could have been what I saw on Saturday. Remember,
Really?
it's like the whale wasn't blowing? That
Right, you
could have
didn't
been.
s-
Yeah.
There you go. You can see them right there.
That's very
2
possible.
sharks.
They're going after
Yeah.
the fish for sure.
Curious
And
now.
Ashley, there will be a time, I have no doubt, over the summer, someone's going to be out fishing, like starts tomorrow,
Yeah.
and they will come across some creature like that. There's always a story about someone getting
Getting
a
it.
big shark when they're trying to
Oh,
get their cod.
really?
Yeah, so stay tuned for that.
Oh, okay.
Watch your fingers.
Yeah, that's right. Get somebody else to take the hook out.
Yeah, okay, good idea. I'll do that.
So how is it looking for those who want to head out on the water?
Yeah, we'll kind of jump right into what the winds and the waves look like over the weekend. So we'll show you that. It does look like, I mean, we've been pretty calm as far as winds go for this entire week. So as we head through the weekend, certainly into tomorrow afternoon, the winds pretty light and the waves as well. So the blue showing somewhere between 0 and 1 meter waves. And then as we head towards Saturday afternoon, start to see some of the bigger waves move in, not by much anyway, and then into Sunday night when our next weather maker moves in for Monday. Those are when those winds are really going to pick up, and then with that spreading a little bit further north is when we'll start to see those waves get higher as well. So speaking of that, we'll get to that in a little bit as far as the weather goes, but temperatures today not too bad as far as highs go. 20 low to mid 20s for parts of central, 13 degrees in St. John's, and then we've got those temperatures in the teens up through Labrador as well. Over the last couple of hours, we have seen a little bit of a drop, 11 degrees in St. John's right now. Corner Brook sitting at 16 degrees. Now, as far as the rain this afternoon, we did see a low pressure system edge its way towards the Avalon. Not bad, though, everywhere else across the island. Did see some showers for the west coast, and then if we zoom in a little bit, you can see not everywhere on the Avalon saw that cloud cover. We did see some clearing skies and up through Gander as well. So certainly a nice afternoon, but as we head through the night tonight, that low is going to continue to track offshore. Might see that chance of a few more showers through the overnight. Eventually going to see some clearing, but then that onshore flow moves a little bit further up the northeast coast, so some fog and drizzle potential certainly there. So here's a look at the forecast, somewhere between 7 and 9 degrees for most areas, 11 for Marystown's your overnight low, Port of Ask 10 degrees. Again, that onshore flow for the northeast coast could see some coastal fog as we head through the night. Up through Labrador, 11 degrees for Happy Valley, Goose Bay. Lab City sitting at 12 degrees, generally light winds though, and that will continue. So tomorrow afternoon, not too bad. Mix of sun and cloud for the most part. Might see some more cloud cover again for the Avalon towards the afternoon hours, and then that onshore flow for the northeast coast. Otherwise, the potential for some showers for the south coast as well as the west coast. And then we've got unsettled up through Labrador. So looking at cloud cover and that potential for showers as well. Temperatures, though, sitting pretty similar to what we're seeing today. So 15 degrees for St. John's, those northwesterlies, 15 to 20 kilometers per hour. Clarenville, 21. Heading towards Grand Falls, Windsor, 23 degrees. There's that onshore flow, keeping it a little cooler up through Twillingate, 10 degrees. 20s as we head towards the west coast. Again, that chance of a few showers. And then I have that for St. Anthony as well, 13 degrees. With northeasterlies up through Labrador, 21 degrees for Happy Valley, Goose Bay with that chance of showers, and then Lab City, same thing, and 19. So here's a quick look at what the forecast looks like for your Canada Day weekend. We will get into some details. I'll have all that coming up a little later.
In-house homemade bread.
How many loaves of bread do you think you sell in a week?
Over 800 loaves a week.
Oh, you're joking.
Yeah.
That's like an assembly line. That's amazing.
Next, inside the Goobies Big Stop, as we look at roadside eats.
And we're asking, what's your favorite roadside stop in this province?
Clodestown Motel. Can I say that?
Oh.
Welcome back to Here Now. The Royal St. John's Regatta beer tent squabble is over for now. The Regatta Committee announced early today that the Newfoundland and Labrador Craft Brewers Association is going to take over that tent. Justin Fong with Kitty Vitty Brewery leads the group. Now, the beer tent became a source of controversy last month when the Kinsmen Club said that it just wouldn't run it. That has not been the case for 37 years. That's how long they've been running that. Now, the Kinsmen Club cited the costs as well as what it called the arrogance of the Regatta Committee. Fong and his group only have a guaranteed contract for this year, but there is an option to extend it for a second year.
Well, crews are hoping a closed section of the Trans-Labrador Highway will be passable by Sunday. A portion of Route 510 washed away earlier this week. It happened about 18 kilometers south of the Churchill River. Heavy rain flooded the area and washed away the bridge linking the highway. The washout cut off access for drivers between Happy Valley, Goose Bay and several coastal communities. MHA Perry Trimper says repairs have been slow due to the remote location.
Well, if you're hitting the road to get away for this long weekend, as many people are, you might find yourself at many of the province's roadside restaurants.
Yes, and for some, the food dished up at the gas station restaurants and roadside stops are to die for. Chef and comedian Andy Bowman takes this look at one well-known spot and the people behind it.
So you ordered the turkey soup.
Oh, and turkey soup.
Yeah, and what, do you like the turkey soup here?
Oh yeah, good, always good. Yeah.
Poutine and
Yeah.
gravy and drinks.
Usually chicken burger and fries or poutine.
We're here at Gooby's Junction, and this is Dean Madden, and he's going to tell us about these amazing dishes in front of us.
Today we're serving our #1 dish, which would be clubhouse and fries.
Ooh.
To complement that, we have a root beer float.
Oh, root beer float. Oh, I used to work at a dairy bar, and a boy I liked would always order a root beer float. And this is delicious, but it still kind of tastes like rejection. Yes.
Well, that won't be the case here today. In addition to that, we have our in-house homemade bread, which would be our #1 seller that goes out the door.
How many loaves of bread do you think you sell in a week?
Over 800 loaves a week.
Are you joking?
Yeah.
That's like an assembly line. That's amazing.
Yeah.
That's so cool. And since we've been sitting here, I've been noticing a lot of locals coming in and out. So it's not just a stop across the island where people stop and pick up a loaf of your famous bread. It's also sort of a hub.
Yeah. So we get a lot of regulars that come in here for coffee once a day, twice a day, 3 times a day.
That's amazing.
So a bit of a coffee stop kind of thing for people. There's a lot of the employees that are work here for a long time, in addition to Betty, who's 39 years.
There's someone in your kitchen who's been working here for 39 years?
Yes, yeah.
What does she do back there?
So with any great meal at the Big Stop, we have a homemade carrot cake, which is made in-house by Betty.
I just have to try this icing. It looks like a cream cheese icing. Oh, so good.
Oh, it's delicious. So that's just one of the many items that she makes from scratch.
Okay, I think we have to go in the kitchen and meet Betty, because this woman needs our attention. It's amazing.
Absolutely.
Yeah. We've got our hairnet on, we've got our apron, and we are here with Betty Eddy, and we are going to make sweet dough today.
It's basically pretty well like a bread dough, except you got a lot of eggs, and it's got a lot more butter, and a lot more sugar, and you know, your yeast and your salt, all the things that you usually use in any kind of a rising dough. Now I gotta start rolling.
I started off as a cook on lawn.
Yeah. Did you like that or did you hate that?
No, I like that too. I love cooking of any kind.
Yeah. When you go home, do you still cook or are you like, just sit down and let other people cook for you?
Oh no.
You do the cooking?
I still gotta cook.
So you don't go home, put your feet up, and your husband does the cooking?
No, not very likely. Not my husband.
No.
That was one of the best eye rolls I think I've seen in a long time.
Yeah,
Fantastic.
I like that.
Hope
Not
he's watching.
very likely.
You almost want to get Betty a Zamboni for the amount of butter she needs to spread across.
It looks so good, though.
I'm so hungry now.
I know, me too.
Fantastic.
So what are your favorite roadside eats? We want to know.
Let us know. We're planning to bring you more of these features over the coming weeks and months on Here and Now.
Yes, you can contact us through email at hereandnow.nl@cbc.ca or send us a message on Facebook or on Twitter at CBC NL.
All right, guys, there's a lot more to cod than fish and chips. Let me show you some Baja fish tacos to spice up your fish night.
Ooh, still with food, fire up the grill.
Oh, they're really hurting us tonight. A lot of food with the recreational fishery kicking off tomorrow. Chef Mark McCrow gets cooking. That's next. Oh, look at that.
Oh, that looks so good.
Butter and oil. The night is complete. Welcome back. All right, time to make you hungry again. We're talking about the recreational cod fishery tonight. It all opens tomorrow.
Yes, so we've decided to replay an item we put together last year.
We don't do replays at CBC. It's an encore performance on Here and Now.
Encore performance,
There you
yes. Here's St. John's chef Mark McCrow with one idea of how to prepare that fresh cod.
All right, guys, there's a lot more to cod than fish and chips. Let me show you some Baja fish tacos to spice up your fish night.
So for your Baja fish batter, start off with a cup of flour in a mixing bowl. Add in a teaspoon of baking powder, a pinch of sea salt, crack of fresh ground pepper, a little pinch of dried oregano. You want to get a tablespoon of yellow mustard, then a little tablespoon of chicken bouillon, and then drizzle in your favorite local beer, whisking it together until you get a nice consistency. Lime pickled onions, put these tacos over the top. So thinly sliced red onions, and then top them with a little bit of lime juice. Squeeze the juice right over top with a little pinch of salt. Set them aside for about 20 minutes till you're ready to plate up the tacos. So every good taco needs a killer salsa. Here's how to make my avocado pico de gallo. Finely dice a white onion. Remove the seeds from a jalapeno just by rolling it on the board. Keep your knife flat against it. Then cut it into strips. Once you get your strips, turn them around the other way and slice them into a fine dice. Dice up one whole avocado. Remove the seeds from a Roma tomato and finally dice it just like you did the jalapeno. Get a nice bunch of cilantro, roughly chop it, stems and all. Bash up a clove of garlic, run your knife through it till it's nicely chopped. Now mix everything together in a bowl with the juice of 2 limes, pinch of salt and pepper, a little bit of Mexican hot sauce, and a couple tablespoons of extra virgin olive oil. So to jazz up your regular sour cream, thin it down with a little bit of milk, add some chipotle peppers in adobo sauce, a little bit of salt, a little bit of pepper, mix it up and set it aside for later. Now for your fish. Dredge it in seasoned flour right into your batter. Shake off any excess and slowly drop it into 320-degree oil. Finally, slice some white cabbage just to give your taco some crunch. Toast your tortillas over an open flame or in a dry frying pan just till they get nice and golden brown. The fish is crispy, season it with sea salt, and build your tacos. Start by putting a little cabbage on the bottom of each tortilla. Go in with your fish. A spoonful of that avocado pico de gallo right on top. A drizzle of the chipotle crema. Top it with the lime pickled onions, a little fresh cilantro, and some of your favorite Mexican hot sauce. And those are my ultimate Baja fish tacos.
Oh, they're good.
Yeah.
And you have a reputation around here for making a mean fish taco.
Not quite as illustrious as that. I'm just trying to clean the drool off my iPad here. It's freaking awesome.
Looks delicious. Welcome back. Now
Break
we're all
from the food.
sufficiently
I'm
starving.
now. Yeah. It's already bad enough. Add food onto the show and it's
There you
worse.
go. But anyhow, it'll be done soon, heading into the long weekend.
Yes, we are. Yeah, we just talked about Saturday's forecast before that. So we'll head into Sunday. It looks pretty similar to what we're going to see. Generally, a mix of sun and cloud through the afternoon, and then For the southwestern portion of the province, that system starts to move in. So we could see and likely will see some shower activity into the afternoon up through Labrador, staying unsettled as well. And then the next round of rain will move in late day and towards the early morning hours on Monday. And this is where we're going to see those winds pick up. So here's a look at the temperatures. Not really moving much over the next couple of days. Sunday does look like it will be the warmest. Temperatures into the mid-20s by the afternoon. 18 degrees for the Straits, 15 for St. Anthony, and that's because we're still in that onshore flow with that lingering drizzle and cloud cover expected. Again, those winds out of the east for Port aux Basques, 15 degrees. As your afternoon high, 16 for Happy Valley, Goose Bay, and then Nain still staying in those single digits. It looks like only a high of 5 degrees. So for Monday, here's that system. There's where they're going to see those easterly winds potentially or at least we'll see that wreck house effect in play. As we head towards the afternoon, those winds will pick up across the island. So you'll see winds gusting between 50, maybe even 60 kilometers per hour with periods of rain moving through the afternoon. And then up through Labrador, again, unsettled. So you're going to stay with that sun and cloud, more cloud cover as we head towards Tuesday with that potential for showers moving in. The system doesn't move much into Tuesday, so we're going to see that lingering shower activity. And then even into Wednesday, it looks like will be the story there. So taking a look at the temperatures, talking about not much movement, 15 degrees right now, give or take a degree or two towards Monday with generally gray skies. Best chance of seeing the sun will be Saturday and Sunday, and then Monday and Tuesday look gray. Wednesday, peaks of sun as well, but then the temperatures bump up a little bit, so potentially another 20-degree day. For central Newfoundland, 23 degrees tomorrow and sunshine. And along the coast, though, is where we're going to see the rain, drizzle, and fog and that onshore flow. 25 degrees for Sunday with some sun, but again, that chance of showers. And then Monday and Tuesday, gray. Temperatures still quite nice, though, between 19 and 21 degrees. Your overnight lows in the teens. For western Newfoundland, 23 degrees tomorrow, 26 on Sunday, and then dipping just a little bit for Monday and Tuesday with those gray skies and rain continuing. And then for eastern Labrador, 21 degrees tomorrow, then we dip into those teens for the rest of the week. Again, chance of showers right across the board. Same for western Labrador, except tomorrow, or rather Sunday, looks like we will see the sun. So we've been talking about fog the last couple of days. The beautiful shot there.
Is there any of that
sunset?
Any of that cinnamon, whatever it's called again?
Subsidence.
That's it, yeah.
Subsidence.
Yeah.
No, not in this case.
Okay.
Not in this case. I'll tell you where this photo was taken and who took it when we come back.
Congratulations to David and Shirley Elliott of Twillingate, who celebrated their 50th wedding anniversary yesterday. Also yesterday, happy anniversary to Calvin and Virginia Payne in St. John's, who celebrated their 59th anniversary. And a happy 90th birthday to Marion Pye of Lethbridge. She also celebrated yesterday, big day. Anniversary greetings as well to Gordon and Sheila Davis of Chance Cove, Trinity Bay. They are celebrating 50 years of marriage today. And a happy 64th anniversary to Herb and Bessie Morgan of Gander. They celebrated on Sunday. Congratulations to Ross and Kay Kosh of Kings Point. They celebrated their 50th wedding anniversary on Wednesday.
Happy 50th wedding anniversary wishes today to Chesley and Mary Barrett in St. John's. Wishing Tom and Jean Dix of St. John's a happy 58th wedding anniversary. They celebrated on Monday. Happy birthday to Mita Walkins. She turned 92 on Monday. She's from Cottlesville, but now lives in Lewisport. Happy birthday to Phyllis McDonald, who turned 90 on June 23rd. She's from Gander, but now lives in Botwood. And happy birthday to Merle Bailey, who turned 99 on June 23rd. Friends and family celebrated at her home in Buckins. Happy 55th anniversary to Basil and Teresa Phillips. They celebrated yesterday.
And happy 61st anniversary to Bob and Juanita King of Grand Falls, Windsor. Happy 95th birthday to Marjorie Cole Perry from Point of Bay, now living in Grand Falls, Windsor. And a happy 54th wedding anniversary to Majors Lorne and Ella Hiscock of Lewisport. They celebrated on Monday. Happy birthday to Hayward Austin in Middle Arm, who turns 80 today. And greetings to Irene and Donald Shano of Dover Bonavista Bay. They celebrated their 61st wedding anniversary on Tuesday. A happy 66th wedding anniversary to Fred and Marie Hancock in Roddickton. They celebrated their special day with lots of family and friends. Last Saturday also, bonus, was also Marie's 85th birthday.
Happy 60th anniversary to Weston and Dorothy Williams of the Goulds. They celebrated yesterday. Congratulations to Clyde and Bretta Hunter in Grand Falls, Windsor, who celebrated their 64th wedding anniversary yesterday. And Henry and Belinda Scott of Upper Gullies will be celebrating their 50 years of marriage on Tuesday. Congratulations. Happy 92nd birthday to Ward Young of Beachside, now in Springdale. And happy 59th wedding anniversary to Alice and Wilson Porter in Kelligrews. They celebrate on Sunday.
Hazel Brenton in Englee celebrates her 93rd birthday today. And a happy 55th wedding anniversary greeting for Edward and Kay Daw in Upper Gullies. They celebrated yesterday. Happy 50th wedding anniversary to Stan and Judy Sparks from Glovertown. And a happy 64th wedding anniversary to Patsy and Ray Butler. Gertrude Gladney is turning 90 years of age on Sunday. Happy birthday. And a happy 92nd birthday also on Sunday to Mildred Bartlett in Rattling Brook, Green Bay, currently living in Kings Point.
Happy 51st anniversary greetings to Bruce and Ivy Ackerman, living in Dildo, formerly of Mary's Harbor, Labrador. They celebrate on Wednesday. And happy 50th anniversary to Major Rolland and Joan Murphy from New Harbor and Bishop's Fall, Newfoundland. Happy 50th wedding anniversary to Wilfred and Annetta Pelly of Loon Bay, who celebrated their special day on Thursday. And happy 51st anniversary to Genevra and Fred Burry of Little Catalina. Happy 62nd anniversary to Nina and Cecil Thorne of Bayview Twillingate, who celebrated today. And happy 50th anniversary to Durham and Rita Power of Placentia, celebrating today as well.
Eileen Pike celebrated her 91st birthday on Wednesday. She's formerly from Stephenville, now living in Mount Pearl. Stan and Mary Smith in Spaniards Bay celebrated their 50th wedding anniversary yesterday. Yesterday, also a big one, the 63rd anniversary for Bill and Marion Hiscock in Buren. A happy 60th anniversary to Gerard and Anita Finn on Petty Harbor Road, very specific, in St. John's. Also wishing a happy 50th wedding anniversary to Art and June Piercy of St. John's. And a happy 90th birthday to Gerald Richardson, originally from St. John's, now residing in the Manor Gander. He celebrates on July 1st, on Monday. Phoebe Ollerhead from St. Anthony celebrated her 90th birthday this week.
Wishing Martha and Gordon Randall a happy 60th wedding anniversary, celebrating on Canada Day. Happy anniversary to Gerald and Joyce Hannum of Lewisport, who will be celebrating their 60th on Sunday. Today is a happy 59th anniversary for Honor and Frank Dominy from Botwood. Happy 90th birthday today to Mary O'Reilly of Gander. And happy 65th wedding anniversary to Edna and Nathan Cutler of Mount Pearl. That's our Julie Skinner's Nana and Pop. Happy 57th anniversary to Mike and Madeline Thompson.
And we have one more addition. Happy anniversary to Earl and Donna Noseworthy of Musgrave Harbor, who will be celebrating their 58th anniversary on Sunday.
Yeah, congratulations, everybody.
Yeah, lots of people celebrating.
Good list.
Yes,
Yeah,
big
good
list.
long list.
Yeah.
So are you getting out tomorrow, do you think, on the water, either one of you?
We'll see. We'll see what happens.
won't be.
I would like to be, but
I like to get out in this water.
yeah, maybe not when it's that foggy, but yeah, beautiful shot there taken just before sunset in
Lewisport?
No. Port Basque.
Oh.
Of course.
Yes, it was a great shot. Thank you so much for sending that in, Kathy. A little bit of a foggy sunset. She said it only went through really quickly, so just a little bit of a fog bank there. Thank you so much for sending that in. And if you have any weather photos you'd like to share with us, send them to nlphotos@cbc.ca. Especially maybe your catches this weekend.
Yes.
Yes,
I'd
that's
like
true.
to see that.
Yeah, if you have any great pictures from
Yeah.
getting out in the recreational cod fishery, send them in. Big long weekend ahead. Hope you have a safe one. If you get on the water, don't forget the life jackets and take care of
safe.
yourself. See you on Tuesday.
Yes.
Right? Have a great long weekend.
Good night, everyone.
Good night.